Morning guys, how we doing? Simple Southern Roots here. So today's project, we're going to build us a fire ring. And it's just, basically we've got pretty dirty. We've got a piece of pipe around back we're gonna get drug up here in the shop and get everything set up and laid out. We'll kind of walk you guys through that process of building your own fire ring. So this fire ring here, I've been wanting one. I used one in a campground a few years ago. It had a rack on it. You flipped it back and forth and you could build a fire, put the rack down, put your stuff under it, and it worked really well. So we burned cast iron off, we cooked chicken stew on it in a big pot, and it worked really well. So that's what we're gonna do with ours. We're gonna build a rack on it. We're gonna hinge it in the back so it raises up and down, and put handles on it so you can kind of move. It's going to be heavy because of the thickness of the pipe, but that's okay. So that's today's project. So stay with us, stay tuned, and we'll walk you guys through the building of a fire ring. Stay with us. Alright, so what we've got our 14-inch mark here, and I went ahead and put another mark halfway, and that way that'll give us 2 more rings if somebody else wants one. So we'll take our next steps. We're going to take our torch and we're going to burn all this paint off, this paint and this coating and stuff off of it, and it's pretty thick, real thick. So we'll burn all that off, we'll clean it up, we'll take our grinder and we'll power brush and clean it all up, and then we'll come back in here and our punch marks will still be here. So then we'll come back and connect the dots, and we'll put our line on it, and then we'll square cut it, and then we'll be ready to get it cleaned up and start putting a rack on it. So let's get the paint burned off. Good morning, guys. How we doing? All right, so we're back here in the shop this morning, and we're gonna finish up our fire pit that we started yesterday. So where we're at now is I bent these handles last night, and we're gonna weld these on like this. So that'll give us something if we need to move it. You're not gonna move it much, but you can move it a little bit. And what we've done so far this morning is we've laid this out where we need to grind and clean this up so we can weld these handles on. And that's pretty much where we're at now. So what I wanted to also share with you guys is this piece of pipe, the OD, is 30, we'll call it 30 1/4 OD. Alright, so what I'm going to do, we're going to find half of this piece of pipe. So we're going to take 30 inches and 1/4, and we're going to multiply that times 3.14. So that gives us 95 inches. That gives us our circumference of the pipes, 95 inches. So we'll divide that by 2, and it gives us 47.5 inches. And that's going to be half of our pipe. So what we're going to do with that, we're going to write that down here. 47.5. Okay. So we're going to take 47.5. And when we get these handles welded on, we're gonna pick it up. We're gonna set it up on our sawhorses. So once we get it on our sawhorses, we'll square it all up. And then this 47.5 inches is going to be for our grating. We're gonna build a grating that's going to flip up and down, and that's going to be our cooking surface for our cast iron and whatever we want to cook on it, really. So that's what the 47.5 is for. And we can go over that again. Maybe that'll help some of you guys later on with some future projects or whatnot. And we'll cover that again in a few minutes. But for right now, we're going to get set up. We're going to grind this paint off. We've got everything laid out, what to grind. We'll grind these off. We'll get our handles tacked on both sides. We'll run a bead on them. Then we're going to pick it up, set it up on our horses, and then I'll show you guys what we're going to do with our grating. So let's get these tacked on. So before we do that, I want to show you guys what I was talking about here. See where we've got that laid out, and that's going to be our where we'll lay our handles, and we'll get everything ground and cleaned up. So while we're doing that, let me just show you. Maybe you guys can see this, but this is what our handles are going to look like. Something about like that. So maybe you guys could see that. So that's basically what our handles are going to look like on the sides. We'll be just below the surface of this so that when we flip our grating down on it, it don't interfere with this handle. So we're going to get all this ground and cleaned up. We'll get these welded on, and then we'll see you guys in a minute. We'll get it set back up here. So stay with us. Alright, what's up guys? Alright, so we got our handles welded on, which you've seen earlier. We got our handles welded on, we got our sawhorses in, we got it picked up, set up on our horses. We have got our ring, and I'll show you guys this in just a minute, how we're going to do it. We got our ring here made. Had to kind of blacksmith it a little bit. But it's going to set something just like that. Pick you up so you guys could see. Or the shaking here. Alright, so we got our ring made. It's not exactly smooth as I wanted it, but I think it's going to work fine for what we're going to do here. So we took our 1/2 inch cold roll. This is going to be our handles. We'll kind of bend them back a little bit, and we're going to do a little something special on them when we get done with it. But for now, they'll be 1/2 inch apart, 1/2 inch cold roll, roughly 1/2 inch apart, and they'll tack on the inside of this as we go around here, all the way around. And then here in a little while, we get all these tacked on. That's what we're working on now. So we get all these tacked on. We're going to come back here with a piece of plate, tack it to this and to this, and make us a hinge back here. I've got some hinges. Put a set of hinges back here, so this, and a stop and a back stop so it don't go all the way over. And this just flops up, you build your fire, you lay it back down, put your pot, you're cooking this stuff on there, and go ahead and carry on. So right now, we're going to lay this over here on our table, like that. So now, take that, and then we take this, and it lays in here like that. And the little spacers go in here, and one in here. Then we'll start tacking these off one at a time. We'll cut each one will be separate, and it'll have its own little thing. They'll all get cut in like that. So that's next, that's what we're gonna do now. So we'll start cutting these, tacking these up, and then I'll see you guys in a minute. We'll get all these tacked up, and we'll put it on and build our hinge. Stay with us. That's hot. Alright, so we got the grating all welded out. Come out pretty good. So now we're going to take it, set it over on the ring, and we got to build us a hinge. We're going to build a hinge back here. I've got some hinges on it. We'll tack them on it so you can flip it up and down. Curve this a little bit. We'll bend the handles a little bit. Put us a handle on those. Make a ring handle so it's not hot. And give her a good brushing and a coat of paint. We'll be good to go. That's pretty close. Nope. Shift this a little bit. Right in there. That's pretty close. Yep. There it is. So I should have come on out another couple inches here and gave us another bar or two, but that's okay. You'll still have plenty of room to get your wood in here, get your pot on it, get your wood in, kick it around, keep the fire back here, and not disturb anything that you're cooking on or the rack. So we'll get us a hinge welded on that. We're gonna finish up the fire pit this morning. We quit a little early last night, and so we're back here this morning. We're gonna finish this up. So we've got our grating all done, and I'm gonna it's gonna flip like this. I've got to build a hinge. That's our next step. So we're gonna fix to start building the hinge. So it's pretty heavy. I don't want to drop it, but it's gonna flip up like that. And then we'll build a hinge, and the grating will set up like this, and build your fire, then you let it back down. So we put 2 braces in here. We got to clean all this up. We put 2 braces in here in a V shape to kind of support the rack itself when it really gets hot. So that's what that's for. Set down something like that. Plenty of cooking area for the fire. So that's all we like. Got to get it all cleaned up and do some more grinding and some cosmetics. Give it a coat of paint. We'll be ready to go for a fire after a while. All right. So stay with us. All right, so this is our first piece for the hinge. So we're gonna take cut another one to go under this. It'll stick out here about this far. We'll put a couple of gussets under it. We're gonna put a hinge on it here and a hinge on it here so that this piece raises up. So we'll manufacture a stop back here to keep it from falling all the way over. So that's where we're at. I hope you guys can see this. Back over here. So that's our grating, our first piece of the hinge. We're fixing to lay out and build our other piece, and we'll hinge it all together. We'll clean everything up, we'll give it a coat of paint. Let's test drive. Over. 340.
Go.
All right, guys, so we finished up our fire pit. We'll take you on a little tour of it. We got our handles on the grating, got them tacked on both sides. We've got our stop in it, our hinges, our stop, so it flops up and down. So you just raise him up, stops up here. And to take it off, you just grab it. If you don't want it sitting outside and rusting, the hinges are made, you just grab it and take it off. I hadn't had it off yet, so it's pretty tight. So we're gonna get some little wear on it. But anyway, that's our final product. So we're gonna go, it weighs probably about 200 pounds, a little over 200 pounds, just for the weight of the thickness of the pipe and everything else we put on it. So yeah, I know. Why are you in here in this metal again? Stand right there. Stand right there, okay? Tell everybody, say, hey everybody. Hey everybody. Alright. Alright guys, that'll conclude our video, the fire pit video. Thanks for watching. Like us if you liked the video. Maybe it helped you guys for a home remedy. If you want your own fire pit, maybe this will give you some ideas. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Simply Southern Roots.